Have you ever wondered if it's time to just give up on this whole music thing? Are you feeling like maybe, just maybe, this whole dream isn't for you? I know exactly what it feels like to pour your heart and soul into something and wonder if it's even worth it. Doubting yourself, wondering if you'll ever make it, and questioning if you even have what it takes. But by the end of this video, you'll see why giving up may be the biggest mistake you ever make. So I remember I almost just completely gave up on this whole music thing. I was working really hard to be good and great and all of that, but I was barely getting any gigs or any traction at all. And the little gigs that I was getting was like really crappy. I even had a church I was playing for that was cheating me out of money. And I had people that were close to me, like family and friends, telling me that music isn't a real job and that I should just go out and get a real job and all of that stuff. And I questioned if I really had what it takes to make it or if I should just give up on it all. But I realized that if I was going to make it and I was going to succeed, I was going to have to just shut all of those naysayers up and double down and work really hard. And maybe you have some of those naysayers in your life. Maybe it's your partner or even your parents, or even other musicians that didn't make it and want to project their failures onto you. But honestly, it's not even their fault because in most cases, they're just doing what they think is looking out for your well-being. But the thing is, their failures don't have to be yours. I was even dating a girl one time that would tell me all the time that I should just go out and get a real job. And the funny thing was, I was making more money than her on my not a real job. And she would tell me this so frequently that I even started to question it and doubt myself and think, well, maybe I should just go out and get a real job. But she didn't understand that I was made for music and I wasn't about to let her or anyone else detour me from my musical dreams. See, what changed for me wasn't overnight success. It was remembering why I started this journey in the first place. And you may be thinking, what if I'm not good enough? Or what if I'm not ready? But the truth is, every musician, even the greatest musicians of all time, have thought and felt this way. It's not about being ready and all of that. It's about being able to persevere through the tough times. And the truth is, the fear of failing will never be greater than the pain of giving up. See, it's easy to look at other musicians around you or even other musicians on social media and think that they had it easy. But what you don't see is all of the low-paying, crappy gigs they had to do, and the nights laying awake doubting themselves, and family members and friends doubting them as well. But if they could push through, why can't you? Taking a risk on yourself is terrifying, but it's the only way to grow. When you're pursuing your dreams as a musician, you're betting on yourself in a world of people who would rather play it safe. An example I use all the time is that when a rocket ship is taking off from Earth, say to go to the moon, the vast majority of energy that it's going to spend on that long trip is just getting off the ground and out of Earth's atmosphere, because the rest of their trip is smooth sailing because they're mostly just coasting. So you have to remember that every crappy gig, every rehearsal, every practice session, every learned experience is getting you off the ground. It's progress, even if it doesn't feel like it. But you got to continue pushing hard to get off the ground so that the rest of your journey can be smooth sailing and coasting. But the sad part is that most musicians just want to sit around and talk about how hard it is because they see other musicians around them who are lazy and unwilling to put in work, who haven't made it, and they use them as justifications as to why this dream of music is so hard. And the sadder part is a lot of them give up on their dreams right before they're about to have a breakthrough. But let's deal with that rocket ship analogy even more. Imagine you're the astronaut and you're sitting in the cockpit and everything starts rumbling and it feels crazy around you and it's really scary. But this is the point. You have to go through that process to get off the ground. And the thing is, you might already be halfway there. All of these crappy gigs and the rehearsals and practice sessions and learned experience and all of that has given you fuel and is pushing you off the ground. And once you break through that stage, the view is incredible. Just imagine waking up every day proud because you're doing what you love. Imagine waking up and not being tied down by a day job and actually making more money and making a better living than what you would be working at a day job just by being a musician. Imagine the fulfillment that comes from turning down events and gigs because you're too busy to do them because your schedule is full with other stuff, or you just don't want to do them because you don't need the money nor the publicity or anything that comes from it because you're already okay. Picture that peace of mind of being out of debt and not even checking your banking account on a regular basis because you already know the money is there, all from you being a musician. Now, imagine years from now looking back, wondering what if you would have just kept going? What if you would have just gave it one more shot? Or what if you would have worked just a little bit harder? Imagine what you could have been doing and the things you could be having if you hadn't let those negative thoughts come in and make you give up on your dreams. Now, which one of those feels heavier? I did a video a while back on the biggest regrets that older musicians say that they have. And by far, one of the biggest regrets that most of them say is not trying. It's not following their passion and not taking risks and not having the courage to pursue their dreams. But this doesn't have to be you. So you may be thinking, Terrence, okay, I get it, but what do I do next? Well, here is my advice. Just set one simple goal for this week, whether it's learning a new song or uploading a cover song or even one of your original songs to social media. Just take a step forward. It doesn't have to be something big. It just has to be something. There's a popular quote that says, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step." And there's another quote that says, "You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take." And maybe these are largely overused quotes, but that doesn't make them any less true. You have something that no one else does. Your unique voice, your story, your music. Don't rob the world of something that only you can bring to the table. So, is it worth it to continue pursuing a career in music, or should you just quit? Well, I think you know the answer to this question. It's absolutely worth it because you're worth it. Your dreams matter and your voice matters. And the world really needs to hear your music. Now, you might be feeling a little bit more motivated about all of this, but there's something crucial that you really need to make all of this work. It's not enough to just feel motivated and inspired. You need to be prepared to handle those setbacks and the criticism when it comes. And although you may feel ready to move forward, you won't truly be able to stay on track until you learn how to handle that negativity and criticism from others. So watch this video on how to handle criticism as a musician so that you can stay resilient and keep pushing forward toward your musical dreams.